going on, everyone? Burnt Toast Chronicles here. I'm changing it up a little with some gameplay from Ghost Recon Future Soldier. And this is actually gameplay from the beta that just came out on April 19th. And it is a closed beta, or at least I don't think they ever made it open. And if you're not familiar with the term closed beta, it means that it was kind of like an invite-only thing. It wasn't that hard to get into. All you had to do was, if you bought Splinter Cell Conviction, then you got a code, and I think if you pre-ordered the game, you got a code, and there might have been a couple other ways that you could get into it, but I'm not too sure, to be honest. And, I also think this was only for 360. I'm not too sure they made one for PS3. I could be wrong about that, but I only played it on 360, so I wouldn't really know. But before I get to talking about, what I like and dislike about the actual beta so far, I thought there was something that might be kind of fun or interesting to do. And it's not something I've ever done before. When you first get the beta, you are given the code for yourself, and then there is also 3 other codes that you were given, and you can give those codes out to friends, and they can download the beta and try it out for themselves. And so far, I've only given one of those codes away to one of my friends, and the other 2 I thought I was going to need, but my friends ended up not needing the codes, so now I'm stuck with 2 codes, and I don't want those codes to just sit and go to waste, because, that's a chance for 2 people to give the beta a shot and see if they enjoy it. So instead, what I'm going to do is do a little bit of a contest or a giveaway, and it's real easy, and through this contest, I will give away those beta codes, and, like I said, you can give it a try and see if you like it. So all you have to do is, it doesn't matter if you're a subscriber to me or not, all you have to do is just leave the video a like or a thumbs up, and then just leave a comment and tell me that you did so. And, you can say, just so I know it's related, don't say something, totally unrelated, but it can just be something like, I liked the video, or I left a thumbs up, anything like that, just so I know what your comment is referring to. And then what I will do with all those comments is I'm going to take the names of the people that posted them, and I'm going to enter them into a random selector, or whatever you want to call it, and then from there, whatever name it picks is the name that I'm going to give a code to. And like I said, I have 2 codes, so there are going to be 2 winners in this, and both are going to be selected completely at random, and it's not going to be random by me either, so I'm not just going to sit and go eeny, meeny, miny, mo, through a list of names. It's going to be through an actual random selector. So, and the way I'm going to do this, just so I know that people aren't, just completely taking advantage of this and just leaving a bunch of comments, is I'm going to compare the number of comments I get to the number of likes I get. So if the number of comments is, completely outrageous and far beyond the number of likes, then I'm not going to be able to trust the results of this, and I'm not going to give the codes away. So if anybody was thinking of trying to take advantage of this and just posting comments without not subscribing, without liking the video, then please don't do that, because that will ruin it for everybody. Because if that's the case, and I get people doing that, I'm just not going to do this contest. So it's pretty simple, and I just want 1 comment per person. That's all you get, just 1 comment. And what I'm going to do is, because this video is being uploaded on the 29th, then what I'm going to do is tomorrow, April 30th, I'm going to select the the deadline will be April 30th, and let's say April 30th at 5 or 6 p.m. Central Time. I'm not quite sure yet. Just get it in around that time. Like I said, around 5 to 6 Central Time. And then you're eligible to win a code. So that'll be the deadline, because the beta ends on May 2nd. So I can't leave this thing going forever, because otherwise no one, if I leave it going until May 1st, May 2nd, no one's going to get a chance to even play the beta. So I've got to cut it short. I know I probably should have done this a little bit sooner if I wanted to really have people, have a real big contest going, but it is what it is. So just, start leaving your comments. I guess start liking the video and leaving comments if you want a chance to get the code. So I suppose by now you're probably wondering, is the game even any good? Because if you're going to enter into the contest, you want to know, is it even worth your time? Is it worth downloading this beta and playing it? And, like I said, just is it even worth your time? On a scale of 1 to 10, of course 1 being the worst, 10 being the best, I'd probably give the beta a 7. I had a pretty good time with it, but there are still some things that just need to be tweaked that I hope will be taken care of for the real game. But in terms of gameplay, it plays pretty smoothly. The cover system actually is something I'm not too fond of. I don't like getting off of cover. It just seems a little clunky to me. Like, getting into cover is great, but getting out seems to be just a tad clunky, and I think it could be tweaked. The actual feel of just the gameplay as a whole, I think, is smooth, and it's really good. Everything flows very well. And in terms of, like, weapon selection, there's a lot to choose from. Well, in the beta, the thing to keep in mind is you probably won't have time to unlock most of the guns in this beta. They require some pretty high levels, but the selection is there. The possibilities are there that in the real game you will be able to fully enjoy. Now, a few problems I do have with the weapon selection is that some of them are incredibly cheap. One of the games I played, and it was not this game, but one of the games I played, there was somebody who had a shotgun, and I don't know what they loaded it with or what attachment they had, but it was basically a shotgun that fired, like, tasers or something. It was like little stun darts or something. I don't know, if it hit you, you got electrified and you fell to the ground and you couldn't get up. And it was really, really overpowered. It was probably the one major complaint that I've had with this entire beta. It's kind of like noob tubing in Call of Duty. It's just so overpowered. Well, at least in old Call of Duties, but I'm not going to get into that. And that's one thing that could stand to be fixed. It's just stuff like that shouldn't even ever make it into a game. I don't know how a developer at Ubisoft can't look at that and go, wait a minute, a shotgun that fires electrical rounds and totally incapacitates the player. No, that seems like a great idea to me. I don't get how stuff like that makes it into a game, but, hey, it does, and at least that's why they have betas. So hopefully that'll get fixed, because I really would hate to see that make it into the final game. But I guess, overall, the multiplayer for me wasn't even really a reason that I was getting Ghost Recon. I was just so psyched for the single player, and, well, there's actually another mode, but the single player for me was really what got me psyched about this game. And, I was really looking forward to the 4-player co-op, and, that's really why I'm getting this game mainly. But there's also going to be kind of like a horde mode, and just like how every game has their own little name for it, you've got like horde mode and firefight and survival and whatever, every game has a different name. And I can't remember what Ghost Recon is going to call it, but it's basically the same concept in that it's just going to be you and some friends holding out against 50 waves of terrorists. And to me, that sounded pretty interesting, because I think it would get very intense very fast in a game like Ghost Recon, because it is very easy to die in this game. If you haven't already noticed from this video, you can get dropped in a second. There's no time to react, so you have to be very careful. So I can imagine how getting swarmed by terrorists with only 30 seconds in between waves, I can understand how that could get very intense, and I'm looking forward to that. And then, really, the multiplayer, for me, comes in just kind of as an afterthought, as a little bonus. It's something that, I'm going to be enjoying the other 2 modes of this game, and if I get a little bored with those, then I can go play some multiplayer. But to me, that's really not why I was getting the game. Now, I know there's going to be other people who probably are going to get the game only for multiplayer, and there's nothing wrong with that. If you are a multiplayer kind of person and that's what you love to play, then more power to you. But for me, or at least for this game. It's just not why I'm getting it. And one thing that I do already really love about the game as a whole, and that I've already spent hours on in the beta, is Gunsmith. And if you aren't familiar with what Gunsmith is, basically it is Ghost Recon's version of weapon customization. So if you thought Call of Duty let you customize your gun, or I don't know, any other game that has customization in it, then Gunsmith will absolutely blow your mind. There are over 20 million possible combinations that you can make in Ghost Recon with weapons and attachments and just all the different ways you can customize it. You can do that over 20 million different ways. And it's really cool because you can customize every little part of your gun. You can customize, what kind of, what size magazine and what kind of bullets it fires, like armor piercing or full metal jacket. You can, excuse me, you can customize the optics, the gas system, the stock, the muzzle. I mean, you name it, and you can customize it in this game. It is absolutely it's so much fun to do, and it sounds simple. It's like, you're just swapping out parts for your gun, but it's so interesting to see how every little change just creates such a huge impact on the performance of your weapon. And what I love is that you can actually then take your gun to like a virtual firing range. And what I love even more is there is literally no delay. I mean, you hit firing range and you're there, and it's a part of Gunsmith. And all you do is just hit the button and it takes you right to the range. There is no load time or anything, and that makes it so much easier to customize your weapon and not have to spend ridiculous amounts of time just trying to test out a new sight, for example. So I mean, already, like I said, I've spent hours on Gunsmith, and in multiplayer you have to unlock the parts for your weapons, and you can only your gun goes to Gunsmith as it is, like when you're customizing. So if you have just a stock weapon and you only add like a red dot or something, then that's all you'll have in Gunsmith. And once you start unlocking more parts and you can leave them on the gun, then you can take all those parts into the firing range. So I know it's a little confusing. If you play the beta, if you play the game, you'll see what I mean. But what I think is really cool is that in the single player, in the campaign, you'll actually have access to every weapon and every attachment immediately. So as soon as you start up that campaign, then you can create whatever weapon you want, and that I think is something that I'm really looking forward to. That's just because in so many games it's like people end up using the same weapon, or it's like people find the best gun of the game, and then that's what everybody runs around with. And what I love about Ghost Recon is that just doesn't happen. Everybody is going to have their own unique weapon that is truly theirs. So, overall, I realize I've been talking for 13 and a half minutes, and, that's awfully long for just a simple YouTube video. But basically, I'm going to kind of wrap up my review, at least, of the beta. Overall, I think it's fun. It's something that's worth trying, and you definitely should give it a try and, get your own opinion of it, because at the end of the day, what I'm saying is still just my opinion. You could still love it or you could still hate it. That's up to you. So, again, that's why I would really encourage that people, take advantage of those beta codes. I really want to give them out. So, this is kind of the first time I've ever really, like, reviewed something like this. So it might be a little sloppy and, a little, to me, it felt fast-paced, so, I know most reviews kind of take time to more slowly and more in-depth break down and analyze certain parts of the game and really go into detail about it, but I was just doing kind of a broad overview of this whole game and just the parts, to me, that really stuck out and that I found to be interesting and worth noting. So, you know, like I said, this has already been an incredibly long video. We're reaching the 15-minute mark now, not to keep drawing attention to time. So basically, I'm not gonna, you know, sit and go through the remainder of this video because that's just unbearably long, to be quite honest. So, really, I'm just gonna kind of bring it to an end here. I feel like I'm always ending my videos short and letting them finish out, but I feel it's acceptable for a video that's as long as this. So, overall, beta is pretty fun. Like I said, give it a try, and you know, please do like the video and leave your comments so you can get yourself entered into this little contest here. But other than that, if you liked the video, then please subscribe for more. So I'm going to let it finish out now, and if you want to keep watching it, you can. Otherwise, you're not going to hurt my feelings if you go and X out the video at this point. But otherwise, thank you everyone for watching, and I will talk to you all later.
You got intel on hostile forces. Moving out. Headed to Alpha.
Sensor data is confirmed. Good job.
Hostile forces have been defeated. Good work.